had come to the people of Arabia, they would not have been able to understand what he was saying. Likewise, if the prophet Confucius had come to the people of Nazareth, of Israel, to the Israelites in the image of the Chinese, though he may have been carrying a profound message, they could not have heard him. They could not have understood him, because he would have not been able to relate to the conditions under which they were existing at that time. And that is why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born here among us in the state of North Carolina, 1886, coming in the image and in the likeness of those who had debased themselves and who had been debased during the time of slavery to the lowest low, had even had their nationality, any knowledge of themselves, stripped from them. Now, Noble Drew Ali, he founded the Moorish Science Temple of America in the year 1913 in Newark, New Jersey, and began to teach our people their nationality and their divine creed. That nationality being Moorish Americans, because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. And of that fact, there can be very little historical dispute, because the people who were brought from Africa and put in slavery here in North America, they were taken from the Moroccan Empire. And so that would make their nationality Moorish. So without doubt, our people are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. In addition to that, so many of our people were already here in America long before the European nations arrived. The reason why nationality is so important in these times, three different reasons really. Number one, nationality ties us to our forefathers. Number two, nationality enables us to claim our natural rights and our birthrights. And number three, nationality determines our legal and political status in the government in which we live. And at this time, that is the most important. Nationality determines our legal and political status in this government. If we look at the conditions of our people here in North America in the year 1994, we find that the problems are many. I won't enunciate all of those problems here today, because they should be familiar to everyone. So many of our young men, in particular, are incarcerated or under the authority of the criminal justice system in some manner. So many of the families are broken. So many of our young people are totally disillusioned, without hope. And so the problem of nationality must be presented to our people in such a way that it can lead to a transformation of their social condition, of their political condition, of their economic condition. And it must be reasonable. It must be realistic. And it must be something that is achievable within our lifetime. And so the doctrines of the Moorish Science Temple of America, nationality and divine creed is not another die and go to heaven theology. What we are teaching our people, the plan that Noble Drew Ali gave to us, which he termed the divine plan of the ages, this will lead to a transformation of our social condition, of our political condition, of our economic condition, even our moral and spiritual condition, not in some great by and by, but in our lifetime. And that is something that our people need to know. They are not in need of another sermon telling them how great and how wonderful it's going to be when they get to that place called heaven, this heaven in the sky. They don't need another form of praying. They need something that will lead to that transformation of their condition right here and right now. And the Moorish Science Temple of America, under the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, provides that kind of plan. Nationality, what difference does it make? We are here in the United States of America. We have been here many generations. It would be unrealistic to teach our people to leave America, to leave the United States for some undefined place. We believe it would be irresponsible for us to teach our people that. We believe it would be irresponsible to teach our people that they should actively work toward the overthrow of this government, this free national republic of the United States of America. On the contrary, the Moorish Science Temple of America is teaching our people to become law abiders. And the course that we have chosen is a lawful course. By lawful course, I mean that we are not seeking to overthrow the constitutional form of government here in this republic. Rather we are seeking to accommodate ourselves to that system, to that process, because we are here to stay. Many of our forefathers and our foremothers are buried right here in America. It would be a disservice to them if we attempted to distance ourselves from this land, which we regard as being our land, because we've been here long before the European nations arrived. So this is our land, and we are not intending of going anywhere. We are here to stay. Since we are here to stay, and since we are determined to accommodate ourselves to this form of government, this republic, then it makes sense for us to meet those legal requirements to become citizens in the government in which we live. We say that that course has not been taken before. That approach to uplifting our people has never been taken until the Moorish Science Temple of America was founded. In the absence of that constitutional and that lawful course, some among us have pursued a course of civil rights and social accommodation. which we believe to be the wrong course of action, that course has led to Jim Crowism and segregation in the old days, and in the modern days it causes hatreds because others perceive that effort as attempting to gain some kind of special privilege or some kind of special advantage. And so that is not the course that we have chosen. The course that we have chosen is a lawful course. We are measuring up to the constitutional standard of law by name. In any republic, in any form of government, one must proclaim two things. He must proclaim nationality, and he must be free. Freedom and national origin are the two prerequisites to being citizens, full-fledged citizens in this constitutional republic of the United States of America. Nationality determines our legal and political status in this government under the Constitution. And that's why we say that nationality is so important. Now, the wealth of all national governments, the gold, the silver, and the commerce and products of the land itself belongs to the citizens and to the citizens alone. And without your citizenship by nationality, one has no rightful claim, one has no legal claim to the wealth, to the assets of any government. Now that's very important, and I think that we should spend some time exploring that. Because what we're really talking about here, we're talking about economic power, which is something that our people here in the United States of America, those who regard themselves and have been called Negroes, colored folks, and black people, that's something that our people have no knowledge of, because they had no knowledge of their nationality, no knowledge of their divine origin. Then they have no knowledge of their natural rights and of their birthrights. They think that they are not entitled to any birthrights, to any natural rights, to any citizenship rights. This is something that was stripped from them during the process of slavery. If we go back to the year 1865, for example, we find that one day so many of those people, those Negroes, colored folks, and black people and Ethiopians, were on the slave plantations in chattel slavery, had no rights. And in 1865, January the 1st, when the 13th Amendment to the Constitution went into effect, these same people found themselves no longer in chattel slavery, but they had nowhere to go, nothing to eat, nothing but the rags on their backs. They had lost that system through which civilization itself is transferred or passed along from parent to child. So it was with nothing. No citizenship rights, no wealth, nothing. Now we understand, if we understand that, now we understand why it is that 128 years after slavery was abolished, we find no significant improvement in the social condition, in the economic condition, in the social or moral condition, and certainly not in the political condition of our people. No one can reasonably expect that all of these people could be released from slavery on one day and on the next day be able to assume their rightful place among the citizens of the United States of America. And until that particular problem is addressed, then the social disintegration, the economic despair, and the political retardation that our people experience is only going to get worse. That problem has to be addressed. It has to be corrected. And nationality, we believe, is the key to correcting that wrong. Because nationality will determine what our legal and political status is here in the United States of America once and for all. Now, if the 14th Amendment to the Constitution made our people citizens, and that is the prevailing interpretation of that amendment to this day, that the 14th Amendment made our people citizens, then we say that it is unrealistic, irrational to unilaterally declare our people to be citizens of the United States of America. Yet when it comes to the wealth of this government, that portion so far has not been forthcoming. Again, how can we reasonably expect anything other than what we have among our people here in 1994? Without the gold, the silver, the commerce, the products of this earth, of this government, of which we are citizens, without that, we cannot reasonably be expected to stabilize our families. We cannot reasonably be expected to produce stable communities and neighborhoods when we don't have what is an absolute requirement for full citizenship in the United States of America. That, among other reasons, is why we say that nationality among our people is so critical. When the question is asked, what difference does it make? The difference is, by proclaiming our nationality before this constitutional government and before the nations of the world, then we transform our legal condition from an undefined legal status under the civil rights laws by by proclaiming our nationality before this constitutional government, we immediately transform our legal status in this government. And by transforming our legal status in this government, then a rightful claim to the wealth of this national government becomes possible and becomes lawful. And when our people understand that, that will restore hope to them. When they understand that part of this divine plan of the ages that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali placed in our possession, when they understand that, there will be a hope among our people that their social condition can change, that their economic condition, their legal condition, their political condition can be transformed, not on some great waking up day, in the great by and by, but in their lifetime. That will give them and their children hope. And with that hope, they can make, or we can make, some changes of our status here in the United States of America and in the world. Peace.